Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a 2020 launch in black ceramic from Omega. This is the Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon Team Alinghi. That's right. We have a aerospace-derived chronograph that is now repurposed for seafaring with a regatta-themed countdown timer and named after a famous racing syndicate. This is a watch for those who go to sea rather than soar amongst the stars. A timepiece that is large, like the Dark Side of the Moon on which it is based, ceramic cased and 44.25 millimeters in diameter. With a manual wind movement, it is 14.1 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 50 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now you can see it's got a little bit of the aesthetic of the Apollo 8. As much as any Dark Side of the Moon, it really takes after the Apollo 8 that debuted in 2018 with the laser-ablated skeletonized dial. But we'll get there in a moment. In terms of fit, it's a broad watch, but it's also a light one. Ceramic and sapphire, the primary constituents of its build, and those are inherently light materials. I'd say it wears just fine on my wrist, so 16 centimeters circumference and up. You can see it's not super thick, but it does have a little bit of an outcropping to its bezel or a cantilever, so I would say jacket cuffs definitely, maybe not the tightest of dress sleeves. The strap is contrasting stitched, perforated, and rubber, and so you can afford to get splashed while you're wearing this strap. Taking a quick look, one of the best parts of the Omega ceramic Speedmasters is that Swatch Group has the material science might and manufacturing capability to build the buckles and the pins out of ceramic too. Now, if you're wearing a watch and you're at a desk all day, you're going to be doing a lot of this on your computer keyboard. So whereas a lot of brands will give you some sort of PVD metal because they can't make these parts or they can't reliably buy them through their suppliers, Swatch Group brands were able to make these ceramic pins and buckles, and you can see right there zirconium oxide. So where you really need the scratch resistance, you get it, and these are durable parts. The case is familiar, lyre-style lugs. We got the inward bevel and the outward bevel. We've known them on Omega watches since the early 60s. We've got the professional-style case profile with shear guards for the crown and pushers. We have a dramatically boxed and cambered sapphire that's designed to look a little bit like the Speedmaster Professional's Hesalite, and then we've got a tachymetric scale, which in service of sailboats probably requires you to apply a few mental decimals. It might make more sense to imagine this being calibrated to 50 units as opposed to 500 if we are going to be timing sailboats around courses. Though these days, sailboats are so darn fast. I think in Sail GP, they get up to 55 miles an hour, and America's Cup is only a tick slower than that. So it's a brave new world. Still, I think you have to apply some mental decimals if you want to use this for sailboats. Taking a quick look, you can see there's a little chronograph hours register that's based on an aluminum disc with the Team Alinghi logo. And then we have a calibration to 5 minutes so you can mark the countdown to the start of a match, which is one race within a regatta, a series of sailboat races like the America's Cup, for example, or the Louis Vuitton Cup. We'll do a loom shot so you can see the watch in the dark, and it is quite well loomed. You can see a fully luminescent tachymetric scale, a luminescent chronograph seconds hand, and unlike the gray side, which has a luminescent crown, this one only features forward-facing luminescence, but still, you'll be able to time your sailboat in the dark. Taking a look at the rest of the dial, we have a couple of details that are historically inspired and then model specific. So outside you have this sort of staggered set of hashes. That's the so-called racing dial that you'll see on a lot of Omega chronographs from the late 60s through 70s. So it looks like the checkered flag that flies at the end of a race. Now other elements, you can see this honeycomb pattern and this carbon fiber weave-like pattern. Those are laser ablations designed to echo the design of the Alinghi racing yacht's hull. You can see we've also got lovely blackened hands at center, and then a little bit of an overlapping cantilever to these indices that project out over the hollow of the center dial. And that's the 5-minute countdown. May as well get that minute hand out of the way so you could better appreciate it. But yeah, let's stop, reset, and restart. So that's how you apply the 5-minute countdown. You just focus on those first 5 indices in the little red range of the minute counter. You can see running seconds over at 9 o'clock, and then we'll turn it all over. More laser ablation. Not supposed to look like the surface of the moon is on the Apollo 8, but designed to look like carbon fiber with both the honeycomb patterns and the weave. Caliber 1865. This is pre-coaxial. This is based on the old Lamagna 1873. 3 hertz manual wind. 48-hour power reserve, 18 joules. We've got a combination of a cam-based function cycler, which is super crisp, by the way. As good as any column wheel, honestly. And then a lateral clutch. And it's true, the combination of Lamagna and Omega now building these cams to the point that if anyone claims they can tell the difference between this and, say, a Rolex 4130 or a Breitling B01 or an El Primero 400, you can't. This is as sharp as any of those column wheels. We have steel parts in satin, and then we've got the brass parts in black. It's a good-looking 18 joule movement. You can see a little bit of a eccentric micrometric regulator screw, and then we've got traditional curb pins. And it's 21,600 vibrations per hour. All of this 50 meters water resistant, which Omega says is fine for yachting, and even if you fall overboard surface swimming. I'm not sure I would go that far because it has a push-down crown, but that is what Omega says about it. So this being a nautically inspired ceramic Speedmaster, at the very least, Omega is being consistent about its capabilities and its suitability for its purpose. I like sailing more than I like spacefaring, so this is right up my alley. If this feels like it resonates with you, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.